Our topic in this video is factoring polynomials with common factor. And to be specific, let's study how to factor polynomials with common monomial and binomial factor. Before we start, let us define first the word factoring and complete factorization. When we say factoring, it is a mathematical process of finding expressions which when multiplied will result to the given product. When we say complete factorization, it is having all the polynomial factors prime. When we say prime, factors are only one and itself. Also, we have to remember two things about greatest common factor. When we say GCF, it is the highest number that exactly divides the given numbers. In variables, the GCF is 1 with the least exponent. For our first example, we have 4s plus 4t. To factor it, we're going to get the GCF and the other factor. So, let's find first the GCF. 4s and 4t, the GCF is 4. To get the other factor, we simply divide each term by the GCF 4. So if we're going to divide the first term by 4, the answer is s plus 40 divided by the GCF, the answer is t. So if we're going to write this in factored form, the answer is for quantity s plus t. Next example. So again, to factor this, we're going to get the GCF and the other factor. In this case, the GCF is 3s squared. Why? Because 3 and 9 are both divisible by 3. While s squared and s cubed, we consider the least exponent. That's why our GCF is 3s squared. And to get the other factor, we simply divide each term by the GCF. So first term divided by the GCF, the answer is 1 plus 9s cubed divided by the GCF, the answer is 3s. And to write this in factored form, this will be the result. Next example. So to factor this, get first the GCF and the other factor. It is very obvious that 4 and 12 are both divisible by 4. And that's the highest number that we can divide 4 and 12. And in terms of variable, s squared and s cubed, so we have to consider the least. So we're going to select s squared. T and t squared, the answer is t. And we don't have to include u squared as our GCF because there is no u variable on the other term. So, our GCF is 4s squared t. And to get the other factor, simply divide it by the GCF. So first term divided by the GCF, the answer is u squared minus second term divided by the GCF, the answer is 3st. And in factored form, this is the answer. Next. So we have our next example. Again, to factor this, we have to get the GCF and the other factor. So to get the GCF, it is very obvious that both terms have a plus b. Therefore, a plus b, and we also have c plus d. And we're going to consider the least exponent of c plus d. Clearly, our GCF is this one. And to get the other factor, we simply divide the first term by the GCF. And if we cancel everything on the first term, that is clearly 1. Plus, divide the second term by the GCF. So the answer is C plus D. And this is the factored form.